He's only 4 feet 5 inches, a dwarf who is often mocked. His sister hated him.
Get out! Get out!
Now they're gone. For the sake of you.
His dad thought he was a disgrace to the family.
You are an ill-made, spiteful little creature, full of envy, lust, and low cunning.
Even then, he still wanted to win his dad's approval. In a war, the dwarf gathered a bunch of minions, ready to show off his strength to his dad.
To battle!
But his own ally came charging in and knocked him out cold with one swing. By the time he woke up, the war was already over.
I'm alive. You're alive. Did we win?
We wouldn't be having this conversation if we didn't.
His dad took one look at him and walked away without a second glance. One day, his dad assigned him a task to be the hand of the king. The hand of the king is second to the king, but above all others, and it's also a high-risk job. The last hand was mysteriously beheaded. Can the short-statured Tyrion really handle it? When Tyrion had just arrived in King's Landing, the queen, who was also his sister, was furious. Since it was their father's decision, she had no choice but to go along with it, but she secretly tried to trip him up. She planted a spy in the council to keep tabs on Tyrion. Luckily, though short in stature, Tyrion had a sharp mind. His tough childhood had made him quick-witted and rebellious, earning him the nickname the Imp.
Better looking than you're used to, Uncle. My mother's been looking for you.
Before you go, you will call on Lord and Lady Stark and offer your sympathies.
I can't stand the wailing of women.
I'm telling Mother. You can't.
The prince will remember that, little lord.
Hope so.
If he forgets, be a good dog and remind him.
To uncover the spy, the Imp pulled a clever trick. He told the Minister of Education to strengthen the alliance with Dorne. He had decided to marry his niece, the king's sister, Myrcella, to Dorne's youngest son. Then, he told the Minister of Intelligence Myrcella was actually being sent to marry someone from the Iron Islands. As for the Minister of Finance, Tyrion said she would be marrying someone from the Vale. Before leaving, he emphasized to each of them.
But remember, the Queen mustn't know.
Ooh, the Queen mustn't know.
Sure enough, once the Queen found out, she rushed over, angrily demanding why her daughter was being sent away to marry in a foreign land. At that moment, the Imp knew immediately it was Pycelle who had leaked the secret. After calming his sister down, the Imp went to Pycelle's room. Not only did he have Pycelle's beard shaved off, but he also threw him in the dungeon. After dealing with the council, the Imp found King Joffrey, though still a child, had been spoiled by his mother for years. As a result, he had become extremely cruel and arrogant. Not only did he often bully his fiancée, but he also showed no sympathy for the poor. A street performer even openly criticized the king and the council for their corruption and negligence, which had left the people of King's Landing struggling.
Corruption! Yes! We are swollen, bloated, foul. Yes! A rotten king! Dancing king prancing down his blood-stained halls to the tune of a twisted demon.
One day, while the king was parading through the streets, someone threw dung at him. Joffrey, enraged, ordered the guard to kill him. This act ignited the public's fury, and a riot broke out. Luckily, they managed to escape to safety with the help of the guards. Instead of reflecting on the situation, Joffrey wanted to order the massacre of everyone involved. The Imp was furious. He couldn't imagine what King's Landing would become under Joffrey's rule.
You're talking to a king!
And now I've struck a king. Did my hand fall from my wrist?
Even this, Joffrey still didn't learn his lesson and grew to despise the Imp even more. Soon after, the council received news the former king's brother, Stannis, was planning to attack King's Landing to seize the throne. The Imp urged Joffrey to fight alongside the soldiers on the front lines, insisting this would boost morale. The Queen, of course, disagreed. But Joffrey, not fearing anything, stood on the city walls leading the army on the day of the battle. Stannis' ships entered Blackwater Bay, preparing to assault the gate. Joffrey kept pushing the imp to send troops to confront the enemy. However, the imp held his ground, waiting until the enemy got closer before finally sending a small boat out. The enemy was puzzled as the boat passed straight through their lines. It was only then that they noticed green liquid pouring from the vessel. By the time they realized it was wildfire, it was too late. With a single command from the imp, an arrow fell from the sky.
Get down!
Destroying all nearby ships and causing heavy casualties for the enemy. Seeing the devastation, Stannis refused to abandon his attack. He ordered his remaining ships to regroup and press forward, determined to take King's Landing. Meanwhile, Joffrey watched the formidable Stannis' army advancing with siege towers against the city gates. Fearful, Joffrey cowardly retreated from the front lines. With the king fleeing from battle, the soldiers began to waver. At that moment, the imp stepped up.
I'll lead the attack! Don't fight for your king! And don't fight for his kingdoms! This is your city Stannis means to sack! If he gets in, it will be your houses he burns! Your gold he steals! Your women he will rape! Those are brave men knocking at our door! Let's go kill them!
The imp led them out of the city gates to engage Stannis' soldiers. During the battle, one of the king's Kingsguard members suddenly swung his sword at Tyrion. Fortunately, Tyrion managed to step back just in time, and the blade barely missed his head, instead leaving a deep gash on his face. Tyrion's squire, Podrick, acted quickly, killing the Kingsguard member and saving Tyrion. Afterward, he collapsed on the battlefield and, when he regained consciousness, learned that his father had arrived with reinforcements just in time.
Stand and fight! Stand and fight, no!
Defeating Stannis and winning the battle.
The battle is over. We have won.
But the first thing his father did after winning the battle was to take his place and become Hand of the King.